My mom is a real estate agent, and when I was younger, I used to tag along with her to some of her listings. These days, I stay at home most of the time. I'm 17, not in regular school due to cystic fibrosis health issues, so I'm completing my sems online. Anyways, I was walking my dog earlier this afternoon, decided to explore a different street than usual, and discovered the neighborhood abandoned house. As I carried my little dog out of the front lawn of that creepy abandoned house, it reminded me of a very creepy house my mom and I had to list many years ago. There was this old Victorian house near the ghetto of town that Mom and I refused to go into. It was a pretty hot Colorado day, and we arrived to this place that had obviously been vacant for quite some time. The lawn was practically a jungle, and the front concrete porch was nearly split in two. Due to this, we had to go into the house through the back door because the front porch was so buckled that the front door wouldn't open. So we did. The backyard was just as bad as overgrown as the front yard. Mom and I both paused upon entering the back gate. We had that feeling like someone was watching us. Mom is pretty superstitious, and back then I was the same way. I have more stories about childhood ghosts and stuff, but we had a job to do, so we persisted to the back porch of the house, which was pretty dilapidated as well, and used the lockbox key to open up the rickety old door. We were greeted with a cold gust. The house had no electricity and it was 85 degrees outside, so no AC, and just a few paces to the right and forward was what I can only describe as a crypt. It was just a large hole where a banister railing should be around, leading down a concrete staircase into darkness. At this point Mom refused to go in, and I didn't have the guts to go in there either. Mind you, I was a 10-year-old little girl. My mom took pictures from the doorway. We were standing in the doorway of the sunroom. Ahead of us was an archway leading into the main room of the house which had vaulted ceilings. We could also see the kitchen, as there was a fairly large bar opening from the sunroom into it, which had old appliances dating back to the early 1980s. We only spent a few moments staring into the musty place, as we were thoroughly convinced some evil creature would climb up from the depths of that cryptic basement staircase. We shut and locked the door, and went out to the front porch again where Mom snapped a couple pictures of the house from the window. In the window, we could see the rest of the house. The living room, as I mentioned before, had a vaulted ceiling. There was an old white ceiling fan hanging down that was missing a blade. The staircase led to an open hallway in which all the old, wooden doors, which some had holes in them and lots of scratch and scuff marks, were closed shut. We also had a view of the kitchen archway which had a tiled floor that was missing tiles. Cobwebs were also visible all around the house, especially along the walls of the vaulted living room. The watchful presence stuck with us until we drove away. Mom and I still sometimes talk about this house, which we nicknamed the Demon House. However, I'm much more skeptical these days, and had I accompanied Mom to the place today, I may have gone in to have a look around out of curiosity. I'm a pretty fearless and adventurous gal now that I've grown up to be quite strong and powerful compared to the frail little thing I was barely even 5 years ago. While I still do believe that spirits and demons wander around our realm, I think there was perhaps a squatter in that house that we listed. I don't know if the house ever sold or what really happened to it, but it was pretty close to downtown, so I wouldn't have been very surprised if there was some homeless dude living in the house, but its cleanliness is something to be noted. Squatters often leave lots of trash around. The house was spotless except for the cobwebs, dust and overgrown lawns. However, the basement staircase is still forever branded in my memories as one of the creepiest, unexpected things I've come across all my years of exploring the city's houses and the country's barns and sheds. So, if you come across a sketchy house with a creepy crypt, go inside at your own risk.